Cowboys Cardinals. What are you drinking tonight?
I've just finished up the bottle of our favorite Dow.
You got a little Dow? Let me show everybody that. Show everybody that glass. Show everybody that glass. That's right. You can go to Believe and get yourself a Chin Chin glass. Chin Chin, my friend.
Chin Chin, my friend.
Week 9 of the NFL season in the books almost. We got the game tonight. I think it'll be high scoring. I think Jacoby Brissett will throw it around the yard. And we're going to show you how to make the spicy sausage and peppers, Nona style. My mom is making a guest appearance on the show.
All right. We look forward to seeing her.
Plus, we're going to have...
Did Mom make this or did you make this?
Collaborate. We worked together. But she showed me a few tricks that makes her recipe second to none that I did not know. Look, there's a lot of people out there right now that because of this YouTube battle with the ESPN, right?
Right.
There's a lot of people that can't watch the game tonight.
I know.
Mom, do you want some of this? Yeah. Go ahead, take some. Mom needs a little bit. She needs a little vino. So we're going to talk some people through the game tonight because there's a lot of people that have YouTube TV.
Yeah.
And YouTube has got a big battle going on right now with
big battle
with ESPN and Disney. So if you have YouTube TV, like I'm here at my parents' house, and then we were looking to watch some college football on Saturday, and my dad's scrolling through, and there's no ABC, there's no ESPNs. So we logged into my Disney account, and we were able to watch it. But there's a lot of people right now that probably don't realize this thing's going on. And they're sitting down to watch their Monday Night Football, and they're like, dude, where's my ABC ESPN?
They're going to be relying on us. The breaking it,
right.
Breaking all that with our special guest that's logging in as we speak.
That's right. We're going to be joined by Todd Haley, longtime coach in the National Football League. Obviously, his father, longtime general manager with the Pittsburgh Steelers, worked under Bill Parcells, did Coach Haley. Was the offensive coordinator of the aforementioned Arizona Cardinals when they lost that heartbreaker in Super Bowl 43 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That much.
By this much.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And what a job Coach Haley did with that offense, Pop. They finished, 9-7 that year? And they went on a run in those
Well, that was the year. That was the year the Giants were the #1 seed, but Plaxico went, boom goes the dynamite. Yeah. Hey, before we get Coach Haley on here, Giant rehab has been in full force today. Woo.
Yes, it has been.
Eye in the sky don't lie, and it did not look pretty with that defense.
Well, it didn't look pretty yesterday in the press box. I haven't looked at the 22 yet, but from what I understand, Bob, it's not pretty. It's not a good sight. So I'm even hearing things, Papa, about lack of effort on some guys and all that stuff. I hate to jump to those conclusions. I hate to look at Twitter and see that, but until I actually see it in my eyes, but everything I'm hearing
in our Believe in Giants podcast, which dropped today here on the Believe Podcast Network, Carl Banks spoke about it. Tiki Barber spoke about it on WFAN. Our guys, a lot of guys fly. Yeah, this guy's not flying around with the ball, right? I mean, you get blocked, not get off a block, and then wait for someone else to make a play. So,
yeah,
we'll get into that.
Tough to stop the run. Tough to stop the run, Papa, when you're not getting off blocks.
So, yeah, Todd Haley's going to join us. We're going to talk about some other things that went on and around the National Football League. You have the Bears in that wild game. It's like Buffalo held serve. Since 2020, they're 5-0 against Kansas City in the regular season. Of course, Kansas City is 4-0 against them in the postseason, which is when it matters most. So, we can get into that. Pittsburgh dusts off some defense for the first time in 3 years.
How about the upsets yesterday, Papa?
Nobody had the Lions losing that game to Carolina. And
nobody had the Packers losing either.
Yeah, nobody had the Packers losing to Carolina, and nobody had the Lions losing to the Vikings.
No, not at all. So that was, there was two teams, Bob, that I thought were ready to make a run, a big run. One was the Detroit Lions. They lose yesterday at home to Minnesota.
Yeah.
The other one was the Kansas City Chiefs, and they lose in Buffalo yesterday. How about the way Buffalo's defense hasn't shown really much of anything this season? How about the way they played yesterday against the Chiefs? Like 15 hits, 14 hits, whatever it was, sacks. How about Mahomes under 50%?
First time in his career.
I mean, unbelievable job by Sean McDermott and Buffalo's defense and Bobby Barrett. I tell you, man, I did not see that coming. But keep an eye on one kid. I was talking about yesterday. You were a little bit on a text chain. Keep an eye on this corner. That's going to really help the Buffalo Bills to get back from injury. And their number one pick has. And this kid is some corner. He flashed it yesterday. So Buffalo, I tell you, Pop, I did not see that coming. I didn't see it coming defensive-wise. I did not see that coming yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty I don't think anybody saw that coming, quite honestly, right? I mean,
I wouldn't think.
With the way they've played defensively. But remember, if you watched Hard Knocks, when that kid Maxwell went down, that was a big storyline. I think people forgot about it. I mean, it was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Now, some of these teams like Tampa this past weekend, they had their bye. Buffalo had a bye when they really needed it. I think Kansas City's bye comes at the right time. They stabilized their season. They'll play at Denver in Week 11. I don't see Buffalo falling asleep. Next week, I think they're going to go down to Miami and smash them. Absolutely smash them. So, yeah, it's good for Buffalo to get that win under the belt. But, it's the whole thing, right, with these two teams. What do you do in the postseason? That's the big question. What are you doing in the postseason?
Yeah, listen, Buffalo's got to get over that hump, right? Obviously. They have to get past the Chiefs. But I thought Josh Allen was his MVP type self yesterday. And the story of the game obviously was the defense. So great win for Buffalo. They're now 6-2. And the Chiefs are 5-4. And they go on their bye week. And they're going to get healthy. Get some guys to rest up. So I expect to see these two teams again in January, Bob, and probably play another classic.
Tonight, I think, could be a fun game.
I think it will be a fun game. And I see a lot of people talking about, hey, you know what? This offense is better with Jacoby Brissett. Well, guess what? It is. It is. Uh-oh. Lost Popper again. I lost the audio with Bob again. But Bob, if you can hear me? Okay, I'm not hearing you. So whatever you did before, do it again. But hey, this Brissett is running this offense better than Kyle Williams. Kyle, right? So let's see if we can fix this up. This is live. So get back.
You got me?
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing there, but I got you again now.
I think every time I touch the earbuds, they die. Okay. They get turned off somehow.
I was just talking about how this offense is running better with Jacoby Brissett than Kyler Murray.
Let's talk about it. Let's bring in our guest. He was the offensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals when they lost Super Bowl 43. Kurt Warner driving his team down the field. Can't forget him splitting the safeties for that touchdown late in the game, only to watch Ben Roethlisberger drive it down the field and win it. Todd Haley takes a couple minutes to join us here on the ManjaCast. Coach, welcome.
Thanks for bringing all that up, Bob. That was very nice of you.
Yeah, well,
I don't know why I'm glowing right now. I don't know what to do with this light, but
you're fine. You're fine. What are you drinking tonight?
I have a little Don Julio 19. Don Julio Blanco. I can't do that anymore. Those are the old days.
Me and Biz are going chin chin, Coach. Welcome to the show,
Coach. Welcome.
Now, we're going to teach our audience tonight how to make some sausage and peppers spicy. So we went into the lab with my mom tonight, and here's your spicy sausage and peppers.
Oh, look at that.
And then she makes this broccoli with garlic infused olive oil, sun-dried tomatoes, and lemon. And I took a little Parmesan Reggiano from Casa de Mozzarella in the Bronx, Addio Bakery bread from Hughes Avenue. And we're going to teach our audience how to make this later in the show.
All right, we were just through Philly and we went to the Italian market. We picked up a little different, little broccoli rabe and some great rolls. Hard to find rolls down here in Delaware, Bob.
Yeah, well, it's like being in Florida. It's like being in Florida. So let's ask you about this game tonight. Obviously, you got the Cowboys, who we know offensively are fantastic. It feels like the Cardinals are better offensively with Jacoby Brissett playing quarterback. Do you expect this thing to be an offensive explosion back and forth?
I really do. I think I would not be shocked if 60 points total were scored. I think the Cardinals are better with Jacoby because he can stand in the pocket, throw out of the pocket. It makes somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot better, in my opinion, with the position that he plays. And I love Kyler, but there's good things that come with Kyler. There's limitations that come with Kyler. And that ability to throw out of the pocket, and Jacoby obviously can do that. I think it helps him a lot. I mean, I think there's a reason why the numbers have been better the last couple of weeks.
Coach, talk about this Arizona team. I had them winning this division. I know I look like I'm a maniac right now, but I think Lige was with me, right, Papa?
Yeah, Lige thought they were going to win it too.
I had them winning this division. Talk about this team. Obviously, they've had some real tough losses, but hey, now that Jacoby's there, does Kyler even get the job back, Coach?
I think tonight's big, from that standpoint. If they go into Dallas and are able to, win the game and score more points than Dallas, and that could easily happen because Dallas's defense is just. I know we're hearing. Jerry Jones making, at least making it sound like there's some deal in the works, unless something happened in the last couple hours that I don't know about. This defense has been a sieve. Arizona, I mean, it's so easy, and you guys know this. The record is what it is, and I know Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are, but, theirs is a little odd just because they've been in so many close games. I really think they're well coached. I like Jonathan Gannon. I like a lot of the players, but, I think losing James Conner was a killer because he was kind of that true leader in the locker room, on the field, heart and soul kind of the deal. But, I've talked to Bob about this, Chris. You draft a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. and he's getting 5, 6, 7 targets. That sounds okay, but it's not. I mean, if you got a Larry Fitzgerald, Keyshawn Johnson, Antonio Brown, whoever it is, you got to get the ball going in his. I saw it last night, even though Jackson Smith and Jigba didn't have a huge game. I mean, he was very productive, obviously, but they got him in the backfield. They got him coming out of the backfield. They got, they're doing a lot of different things to try to direct the ball in his direction because he's a big timer. Marvin Harrison Jr., I believe, is a big timer, and you see a game end and you got 6 targets in his direction. And I love McBride, but tight ends generally, they just get the ball if things break down other places. It happens, now when you're in the red zone or third down, I get it. But in general, when you're throwing the football, get it to your big dogs. And Marvin Harrison is that, and they haven't done it. And then along with some of the injuries and some letdowns late in games, all of a sudden they look like a bad team, but I don't think they are. I think they're kind of a dangerous team.
Yeah, There was
Go
a
ahead,
coordinator.
Chris.
There was a coordinator for Arizona in 08 that made sure Larry Fitzgerald got the ball, wasn't there?
And Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, that's a bigger problem. That's McBride. Bolden was McBride, even though he was playing receiver, and Larry was Marvin. I mean, but that's what you got to deal with. And I don't know. I've been really disappointed with a couple teams. Jacksonville being one with Brian Thomas Jr. and Arizona. They stand out to me as I believe in these two players. Brian Thomas and Marvin, and they're just not getting the ball.
All right, so Dallas gets the ball first. They run it with Javonte Williams, who's been a nice pickup for them, even though Rico Dowdle, who they had, they seem to not think he could play, and all he's doing is setting the world on fire. What with Schottenheimer having been there, working under McCarthy, part of the staff, and now taking over as the head coach, what have been some of the differences as Williams runs it again for another first down? What are some of the things that you've seen with Dak, or is it just a matter of they added another receiver to complement CD Lamb?
I think it's Dak, obviously coming off injury. I think he really worked hard in the offseason to get himself in absolutely great shape. He looks great. We know CD Lamb can play, but yeah, when you add that extra piece, I agree with you though, Bob. I bet they wish they had Dowdle because, they kind of cast him aside, and he had another big game yesterday. But, when you have two pieces at the receiver position, or even if it's tight end receiver, whatever it is, but specifically, as you were talking about Chris, Arizona, when you got Bolden and you got Fitzgerald, it really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. This is odd for me trying to watch a game while I'm talking to you guys, but I'm figuring it out.
That's what we do here, Coach. That's what we do here.
You're listen. You're on the Italian poor man's version of the Manning cast.
Here, let me stand up and let me do a little brief description of how you catch a football. No.
Hey, Coach. Papa. First off, the last time I saw Coach Haley was on the sidelines, right, with the headset. I'm looking. I can't. This hair you got going there, Coach. With the wild man look, brother. I'm looking just now. I'm like, holy shit! Look at his hair, man. That is some hair going on back there.
Hey, retirement is a great thing. I mean, retirement from coaching. I don't. Other than you guys bring me on here in a couple podcasts, my girlfriend likes long hair. What can I say? You do what your girlfriend likes, right?
He's got a little of that longshoreman. I feel like I'm watching Deadliest Catch with the background there.
I'm a fisherman at heart. I can go out and fish with the best of them. So you got to look the part. At least I don't have those stupid wraparound glasses on everybody wears in interviews now.
That's true. All right, so Dak hit
first and goal here.
All right, Dak hits Pickens, then he hits CD Lamb. They're running the football. I really like this Arizona defense. Now, I know, why is it that teams look so good on the first series, Coach, offensively?
It's, it's the scripted 10, and I know Brian Schottenheimer is a West Coaster at heart. They generally script 15 plays, maybe even have a second series. But, these are the plays that, they obviously come from the group of plays you run all week in practice. And then as you get down towards the end of the week, and a game like this on Monday Night Football, so say Friday or Saturday is your last real practice, you're starting practice with those. Your walkthrough on Sunday, you're walking through those plays. Sunday night, the coaches are sitting up in front of the entire group offensively and saying, here's the first play, here's the second play, here's the first third down and short, here's the first third down and medium, long, here's the fifth play. And then the next morning, I'm sure Dallas this morning had a walkthrough at the hotel, even though they're at home. They stay at a hotel, and you go into the ballroom and you walk through those same 15 plays again. So there's a great comfort level. There's no surprises. There's a lot of plays on the call sheet, especially in the West Coast vernacular. But that comfort level with all the players involved, I think is a lot better than in other situations. And, I've had people say, why don't you script every series? That's impossible because the situations in the game start to change. You're behind, you're ahead. On the first series, you kind of know exactly where you are in the game, and I think it gives great comfort to all the players involved.
Coach, I gotta ask you this because I know you see it every damn Sunday. Tell me why coordinators just don't stick to what's working.
I was blessed to be mentored by the great Dan Henning, a close friend of mine, but one of the best coaches I've ever been around, and Ron Earhart, who Bob knows, you probably know, but the great late Ron Earhart. But I go back to being in that Jets box as a young coach, and hearing Ron Earhart or Dan Henning saying, "Run it again." And I think everybody wants to be cute and fancy, but this is still just football. And if it's working, make them stop it. It's kind of the thing when you have two running backs and one running back has a 7-yard average and another one has a 3.2, and you're still mixing and matching. My father in that case said, until that guy with that 7-yard average, you get it down to at least 4. Keep giving it to him. Why are we running another guy on the field? So it's not as complex or complicated as sometimes it's made. As Bill Parcells would say, you're over coaching, whatever it is. I mean, you just can't do it. I mean, I think it's just stick to the basics, what's worked. So call it again until it doesn't work.
All right. So let me ask you this, Coach. Dallas drives downfield, pass for Ferguson, gets knocked down, so they don't get in. They pass up the 3 points, and good job by Arizona's defense. They have a better defense than the Cowboys, and they get pressure on Dak Prescott. They get him to the ground. Dallas passes up the 3, missed opportunity. Do you like this new wave of thinking of, let's just go for a touchdown here? For me, it's like, give me 3 points to start the game. We've already chewed up X amount of minutes. I want to lead to start the game regardless.
Yeah, especially the first drive. I mean, points matter. I mean, you see people, do some of these things, and then when you look back at the game in a whole, you're like, man, if you would have just kicked the field goal here, then you had another opportunity to kick a field goal. Now you're chasing points. I get the analytics aspect of it. I really do. Now, maybe in Dallas's case, because they're like, hey, we're going to score – we're scoring 25, 28 points a game. We're going to get – but I take the points, especially early in games. It's like going for 2 too early,
I was just going to ask you that, Coach. Does chasing points in the second quarter when you're up 19-7, does that drive you ballistic? Yes or no?
Drives me crazy. You don't – I don't know. I watch – if something could make you crazy, it was that Bengals-Bears game yesterday. But, because when you look back at it again, it's just take the points. I was on the Steel City Sunday podcast, and there's a bunch of, sports writers on there, and they're like, Mike Tomlin, he doesn't go for it. He doesn't go for it like everybody else. And take the points, play football, get the pulse of your team. Oh, that's not a good start.
Hey, what did you think, Coach? What did you think about Pete Carroll going for the 2 in overtime yesterday?
I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, you got 2 wins. You're desperate. You're on the road, right? Weren't they on the road? Where'd they play that game?
No, they were home. Yeah.
Oh, they were home.
Yeah.
That would have been the only factor that I might have questioned was, at home, generally thought is on the road. You that's your opportunity. Are you going to get down there again in overtime? But I don't know. With the new overtime, with the rules being changed, I don't think it's as critical to go for it on the very last play of regulation.
Right. Hey, Coach, you had 2 teams that I thought were ready to make a run. One being the Chiefs, the other one being the Lions. They both lose yesterday. Obviously, the Lions was a real surprise. The Chiefs, they look like they were getting together, and then they lose yesterday. And on top of that, Mahomes under 50%, which I believe is the first time, right, Papa? First time in his career?
First time in a regular season game he's been under 50%.
And Coach, a Buffalo team, as you know, really hasn't shown much defensively this year. Comes up with an unbelievable effort yesterday.
Well, I think, one of the key factors that Harrison, the new young guy coming, getting back to play, he's got a chance to be a really good player. And then Bosa. I mean, Bosa was a game wrecker. So I think those two really factored in, even though they were missing Ed Oliver. I mean, Buffalo, easy to cast teams aside, make quick judgments. I mean, they lost 2 in a row. The world, the sky's falling. But this is a good team. They can control the football for lengths of time. And I'm really not worried about either of these teams. I would not be shocked if at the end of the season we're watching those two teams still jockeying to see who gets the home game. I really wouldn't. There's a long way to go. We're in the back stretch. You're just trying to jockey for position. But Bosa, if he can stay healthy now, if he, this is a different guy for Buffalo. I mean, we know he can play, but health has been the biggest issue. But if you tell me he's healthy and doing what he's doing, what a piece they added this year.
Coach, 2 plays ago, that was a nice physical comeback route to Marvin Harrison Jr. Bland is all over him, stayed physical. They get the first down. It feels like Brissett just has real confidence in him.
Why would you not? I mean, and I do, because I like to harp on this a bunch, but, receivers are different cats. And I'll go back to the late 90s with Wayne Corbett, when he was just made the team because he tore up your Giants, Bob. In the last preseason game. Remember, he caught about 8 balls, made the team.
Yeah.
But anyway, his first role back in those days was there was an X and a Z and then a third down receiver that came in on only third down. So Wayne Corbett would play however many third downs. Maybe there's 12 third downs, and of those 12 third downs, 4 balls were thrown to him. That takes a little different type of a guy. Where some of these big timers that in high school, college, they're used to the ball coming to them, every other play. And so it's no big deal if you drop a ball. I was never a guy that said, you dropped the ball, do push-ups. My response would be, you're going to drop it. Just make the critical catches when they really count. But there's 2 different types of receivers. But these big timers like Marvin, if he knows the ball's, like Jamar Chase a couple weeks ago. I mean, how many? 23 targets?
Yeah.
Dropped a couple balls. No big deal because he caught 16. It takes a lot of pressure off. There he is. Is that the one you're talking about?
That's 3.
No. That was just now. That was the third.
That was just now
on Bland.
That's 3 quick targets for him, though.
Yeah. Do it.
Another comeback route. Yep.
And don't be scared of their best guy. And they go at him again. There you go. Keep feeding them.
You drop one, no big deal. Now on third down, you better catch the ball.
I know you were having a little fun on X yesterday because, of course, your father was great general manager with the Pittsburgh Steelers for many years. You worked under Mike Tomlin. You coached Ben Roethlisberger. Pittsburgh has had no defense for 2 years, but they must have heard all the chirping based on what they did yesterday, huh?
Hey, they're a prideful group. I've been in that building with Cam Hayward and TJ Watt, who was a little younger when I was there, but this is a prideful group. Cam learned from Brett Kiesel and some of those guys that came before him. Believe me, and I thought the Green Bay game, the first half that's what I expected. What happened yesterday in the Green Bay game, unfortunately, they missed a bunch of tackles and they let a couple 50-50 moon balls that could have gone either way, change that second half. But, I got so many Yinzer friends that's why I think on Twitter I made the comment, I hope nobody's jumping off those beautiful bridges in Pittsburgh, because it's a marathon. It's not
Oh, gotta grab that. No flag, Trey McBride.
Yeah, the flag came out, but they might have called offense. I don't know.
Well, unless you,
Nah,
they
they
only
called
call it
a
against,
hold. They called a hold
only
on Bell.
they only call that against Darius Slayton.
Yeah, he grabbed his shoulder right there.
Hey, listen, and not for the reason why they lost the game yesterday, but you're up 7-0. San Francisco's going for it on 4th and 1 in their own territory. Kyle Juszczyk clearly goes before the snap. How did they miss that? Like, and we saw it last Sunday night too. Like, how did they miss that? It's one thing to say bang, bang. It's another thing to see hand. Like, was that interference? Was that not? Is that a hold? Is that not? That's in the flow of the action. But if everybody's static looking, how do you miss a dude starting literally a half a second early?
Chris, Bob is trying to poke the bear. I feel that right now.
You're retired. You're not going to get fined.
Come on, Coach. Come on. Don't worry. Come on. You can say it.
Hey,
you want to? Hey, Coach. You know what? If I was a coordinator in today's NFL, and I was looking at 3rd and 15s, 3rd and 14s, I would do the same thing every time. That back shoulder 9 fade, and just throw it up there and try to get that flag. I would do that every damn time because about 40% of the times you're going to get that flag. What do you think about that, Coach?
well,
Come on, you can say it.
It depends who you're talking. You know how I feel. I believe officials should be full time, and I've heard all the different comebacks about it. Pay them more money. They all have second jobs. It'd be like us three going out and officiating a game next week. Now, if it was Pop Warner or something, okay, we might be able to pull it off. We understand football. But you cannot tell me that if they had a building in some nice area in the middle area of the country, maybe Phoenix, out in Arizona, that they're studying the two teams they're going to officiate for the entire week, every tendency there is. Because what we get as coaches is about an hour before the game, the head official and his guy come in and, hey, anything to look for, any trick play. Oh, yeah, we got a double reverse. Can the quarterback be under center? You're answering those questions. And then you kind of at the last minute, you're like, hey, so-and-so, he's consistently lined up off sides. And they're like, okay, gotcha. But if they were watching the tape like coaches and players do all week, if you try to tell me they wouldn't be better at understanding the opponent that they're going to officiate, I think you're crazy. But, that inside fade, though, Chris, Kurt Warner actually yesterday said, what's your go-to, because he's mad about college coaches. His son just, got put on the bench at Fresno State. Yeah, so he's obviously upset. Because I think it's a disgrace. The kid can play. I mean, he really can. But, so I said, you signal, if you get double press, you signal that inside fade, guaranteed either catch or a penalty. Well, somebody like Kurt, he's like, no, give me more options. Let's run a clear and in, So it depends who you're asking, Chris. The long answer, but it depends who you're talking to. But I'm with you. I mean, throw it up and probably
that would be my
good things can happen for you.
Coach, that's what I would do. Just throw it up in that back shoulder fade, and you're probably going to get a flag in today's NFL. Or let the receiver come back.
Until you don't, Chris. And then, we saw it yesterday, a couple fades to the big-time stars, and you're like, what are you doing? You're just throwing it up, and you don't get a flag, and they don't catch it.
All right, so I have a question for you because, it's food, football, family, right? So my brother-in-law and my nephew are big Chargers fans. And I know you're a fan of Justin Herbert. This Joe Alt injury, out for the year. He got hurt in the Giant game, came out. You lose Rashan Slater in preseason. Can they overcome this injury? Now, if they get Hampton back to help that running game, yes. and I know Herbert can sling it, but can you overcome losing 2 Pro Bowl tackles?
Tell me, it's going to take a lot. I mean, that's a crusher because, we saw Herbert getting hit a bunch. Maybe not all sacks, but over the couple weeks that Alt was out, he was getting beat up, and all of a sudden, you start making poor decisions, things like that. So I don't know. That's why, this league is about, drafting, developing, adding and developing. But you're talking about 2 really good players at a critical position. It's going to be tough. I mean, as you said, you get Hampton back, but they've been decimated at running back, decimated up front. I love Herbert, and I love what some of the guys on the perimeter are doing, but you're talking about your best player, a couple best players on offense not being there anymore. It's tough.
Missed friggin' field goal from 40-something yards.
Sounds like
that's why they lose these games.
Sounds like something we looked at yesterday.
Yeah, they weren't winning that game anyway, though. But that's why Arizona loses these games. And what about Atlanta? They
matter.
Atlanta gets rid of Koo. He misses the 44-yarder in the season opener. So they say, okay, he didn't kick well last year. He was a Pro Bowler a couple of years ago. They get rid of him.
I think he made that field goal. I hate to interrupt. He made that field goal, I believe.
It is good. I thought it was no good.
I thought you said no good. I think he did make it. But
they because it was close. I saw the Cowboy guy reacting, but they did say because that was really close. Good.
Yeah, we'll see when they come back. But go ahead.
But like the Atlanta Falcons, they got Romo. He misses a kick. I mean, I know head coaches go crazy about these kickers. How many did you go through when you were the head coach in Kansas City, or did you go through a bunch?
We drafted Mr. Irrelevant Ryan Suckup, and he was actually one of the. I love Boswell. I loved Ryan. I don't like the traditional nerdy kickers. I like bigger athletic guys, and Suckup fit that mold. And Boswell, who obviously he's unbelievable. Boswell, in Pittsburgh. I generally don't like kickers, Bob, and you're trying to poke the bear again. If you want to have a kicker conversation.
No, I just like to poke you. Do you like the new kickoff rule?
I was just going to ask him that.
I like most everything about it except that, and Bruce Murray will roll over right now if he hears this. I miss that opportunity of the surprise onside kick. I really do. I mean, because, you get in certain games against big-time offenses where you're telling your team you got to steal a possession. Sometimes that, as we saw in New Orleans with Sean Payton, stealing a possession can happen on a surprise onside kick. I miss that part of it.
Hey, Coach, who's some of these young quarterbacks you really like watching? Like the Bo Nixes, who do you really like?
There's a lot of them, Chris. Drake Maye, how can you not put him at the top of the list? I mean, this looks like Josh Allen 2.0. Big, strong, athletic. What they're doing there with Mike Vrabel, I think is just awesome. I mean, give Josh McDaniels credit. I mean, he took a lot of flack as a head coach, but it seems like we always talk about quarterbacks being planted in that garden, that you grow your basil and all those things. Josh McDaniels, when he's coordinating in New England, he seems to be in his happy garden. So, give him credit. But Drake Maye, Bo Nix, to see last night, Jayden Daniels is one of my favorites. That was tough to see, but I don't, that's why I was talking to Kurt Warner, because our Super Bowl season, he had that injury, dislocated elbow. Now, I don't remember seeing it like I saw it on TV last night, but, he came back quicker than you would have ever thought. And then he's handing off with, backhanded with his right hand, during handoffs, because throwing's not an issue, but protecting yourself and functioning and handing the football off is an issue. So but I love Jayden. I'm still, Caleb Williams, that had to boost some confidence. Still some things about Caleb that, it appears with Caleb and the talent is there. There's no doubt about it. But if things don't go exactly the way he thinks it should, you see that panic part of it. That's what I'm not seeing with Drake Maye. I'm not seeing with Bo Nix. I'm not seeing with Jayden Daniels. But he's making huge progress with Ben Johnson. But I would say you got to put Drake and Bo, up there towards the top of the list.
And I'm curious. I know it's only 6 games, Coach, but what do you think of Jackson Dart?
I really like him. I think I was pessimistic. When I saw him coming out. Now I didn't do a ton of work on him other than just watching games, when he was playing in college. But, I saw the hair. Let me tuck my hair back before I talk about Jackson Dart.
Yeah, seriously.
I saw the hair. I'm like, this guy's just trying to be Patrick Mahomes, but he's got a little something to him. I mean, he can throw. He looks unafraid. You don't see that same panic from him. Now, are there times if I were coaching him, I'd be like, hey, sit in there, slide in the pocket and throw it. But he's got ability running it. He's got ability throwing it. But the biggest thing is, and this is the thing you really can't measure when you're grading quarterbacks or evaluating them, and that's why it's not a clear thing. I mean, that's why there's so many that you think are going to be great that aren't. But the easy things to look at are arm strength, arm talent, athleticism, size. But there's that it factor, and Jackson has that it factor, and I think that's really good. Now, Bob, if you could get Carl Banks to since he's after Dexter, if you could get him to go get Brian Thomas Jr., I'm telling you, you'd have Malik Neighbors, former teammates. Get Scattaboo back. You got Brian Thomas Jr. We still got a little time leading up to the trade deadline. If Jacksonville hadn't won,
they're not trading them. They're not trading them.
I thought Travis Hunter was the answer. If they had lost yesterday, you might have had a chance. But, man, would that look good next year? Jackson, Scattaboo, Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr.
Tell you what, Dak just got lucky there that his arm got hit and that ball didn't get picked. I want to ask you this. You and I have talked about him doing our show together on Sirius. Obviously, yesterday did not go well. You're still buying Daniel Jones, though, right?
Yeah.
I saw hesitation there a little bit.
Well, no, I was watching the clip here. I was in Dallas for 3 years. I'm trying to see a little bit of Dallas-Fort Worth, see where they're at. No, I think the key with Indianapolis and why I was very heavy on the Steelers yesterday is if you can take Jonathan Taylor out of the game, which is a big thing, but doable, it changes the way they play offensive football, much like Detroit when they're behind or, things like that. If you can't just line up under center, and we can have that whole conversation if you want to have it, you're seeing a lot of teams come back to playing under center. Thank goodness, because is it as pretty? Is it as fun to watch? No, but is it more effective? Absolutely, if you can run the football. So, I think the fact that the Steelers were able to shut down Jonathan Taylor, they probably didn't mow the grass at Acusure, let it grow a little bit. I mean, that's the game within the game, right? So, you slowed down a guy that's playing at an MVP level, and that changes how you have to play. And anytime you put everything on the quarterback, it's just going to be a lot tougher.
That's why I love watching San Francisco. I love the amount of times that Mac Jones is under center. I just love it.
Philadelphia went under center. Barkley runs. Cincinnati, even with Flacco, they couldn't run the ball to save themselves. And all of a sudden they get under center. and they're running the football more effectively. Even if you don't run it great, it is so different looking at a play action fake handoff under center with the back in the home position than it is as a sidecar back running sideways. I mean, every lineman you ask will say, all right, you got a choice. You can hear the huddle call, and the quarterback's under center. He's in gun. They're going to say, put him under center.
Speaking of under center, Coach, how about Sam Darnold in Seattle? What do you think of them?
Last night was 7-on-7.
Yeah, I mean, and throwing it to guys that were like, who? I had to I'm like, who was that? Who's Horton? Where did he come from? I mean, how can you not be similarly to Daniel Jones? I think of Sam Darnold, guys that were beat down in a tough area to play football and maybe not the best situation. Even throw Justin Fields into that mix, with them getting their first win a couple weeks ago and being on the bye. How can you not feel good for this? This is another really talented guy, physically, but the question was, can he put it all together? It's very easy for evaluators, to sit there at a workout and say, or watching college games, oh, he's got an NFL arm, he's got this, but quarterback's a tough one. Do they have that it factor like you were talking about with Jackson Dart? And I'm not, carving his bust by any means, but Sam Darnold, I mean, he's doing some really good things, and I'm happy to see it.
So the best part about because everyone throws Parcells out, right? Best part about coaching under him.
Best part. This is an interesting question, Bob. No, I love Bill. I mean, I would not have done anything I did without him. I think in this day and age, and I was talking about Kurt Warner and his son getting benched, and I said to Kurt, in this business, people would rather be right and lose than ever admit being wrong. The egos, everybody paying attention. Bill Parcells, different than most or a lot of guys I've been around, he wanted confrontation. Now you better be ready for it. I can remember being a young assistant receiver coach working under Charlie Weiss, and they sent me on the road to go down to see this guy named Chris Brazel at San Antonio State. He ended up being but we're in the 7th round, and this is the best story I can think of. And now you think, now I have a little confidence. Back then, I probably didn't have near the confidence, but I really liked this kid. I went down there, worked him out one-on-one. He was athletic. He could do a lot of things, very productive, but at a low level. So we're in the 7th round, I think, and Bill's like, whoa, because Parcells is different than a lot of places. All the coaches, scouts, everybody was in that draft room. And usually we had a smaller staff coaching-wise, so it was doable. But he's like, what's anybody got? And I'm kind of like probably biting my nails. And I'm like, I think we should take Chris Brazel. Parcells put me against the wall so quick. He goes, what? Came after. I mean, physically put me against the wall. But, my decision I made at that point was very critical to where I went from there, because I could have just backed in the corner or I could have stood up. And I said, no, this guy can freaking play. He will help us. And once I said that, he backed down. He said, all right, we're taking him. If he's no good, you're on the line. But he wanted that. He didn't want yes men. He wanted guys that stood for what they believed. And he made it hard because, a lot of people would back down, but you gotta, if you stood up for what you believed, he was going to listen to you and give you an opportunity. So that's probably, of all the things, on top of, I got into it with the player, and
not you, Coach.
Man, it was like show team it was like show teams kickoff for Mike Sweatman. So my job was the show team players. It wasn't even the real guys, it was the guys running down in training camp at Hofstra. And the guy wasn't running, former number 1 pick. And I got after him while he came after me, try to this is like my first day on the job, basically. And now I'm in it with a player, and Bill called me in with the whole staff, and he said, "What happened?" I told him exactly what happened. He said, "We're cutting him." He always supported his coaches to the fullest, and I always appreciate and respect that. So, that's why he's as great as he was.
Hey,
All
Coach.
right, so Coach,
sorry,
end
Pop,
of the first quarter, final play, 3rd and 14. Where does Brissett go? It's Marvin Harrison Jr. Start the
Good
second
sign.
quarter 3-0. Yeah.
I like this kid.
I like
Democado. I like him, man. I know he had that bonehead play a couple weeks ago, but I like him. Am I way ahead of you, Pop?
No, I saw Carter.
No, he just ran the ball for
Yeah.
DeMarcado. Yeah, I mean,
when you want to answer,
I mean, it was
way ahead of you.
no, it was kind of rough that they find the coach. Team find the coach, but I guess it's part of everybody gets a trophy era we live in.
Yeah.
Hey,
and I guarantee you, he just showed the clips of the guy at Indianapolis doing it.
I guess
if
putting
he didn't,
hands
I'd
on
be
him in today's
disappointed,
world, right?
You'd lose your mind. There's Marvin again.
Yeah.
I like, and I don't think the kid was showboating at all. It's just dumb. You do dumb stuff, but I like that they didn't cut him. They gave him an opportunity, kind of like what you're seeing with Mike Vrabel, letting Ramondre Stevenson make a few mistakes.
2nd and 3.
Yeah, they got to punch this in here. You stopped them. They went for it. You had your drive stalled. Let's get this thing in the end zone. Trey McBride, let's go.
His old giant Will Hernandez up there, Pop. You see him getting up in somebody's face?
Yeah. DeMarcado again. All right, so we got third and less than 1.
3rd and 1.
Do you like running it on second? You're thinking like 2 downs here. So, right, we'll run it on second because we got 2 downs to play with to get a yard here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all dependent on, this is one of my other things that, everybody, a lot of places I've been, the head coach said, all right, we're running it. All right.
They went quick. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're not seeing as much of that. And that's such a, if you have plays that you can run out of any personnel group that everybody knows. I mean, we used to have a call in Pittsburgh where it was just, even Mike T would be like, call it. He understood as a defensive coach that if you don't give them a chance to regroup, it can be an advantage. But, everybody, Will Hernandez, he's a tough guy.
I always find that.
There's Marvin on a quick little in. I guess I'm a little ahead of you.
You're a fraction of ahead of us.
Okay,
but here we go. Boom! Look at that. DB fell down.
Didn't look too complicated, did it?
Nope. There you go.
But
hey, look,
don't tell me the fact that they threw it to Marty probably 5-6 times going into the second quarter that didn't relax him a little bit.
Boy, Deron Bland. Woo.
Marvin Harrison Jr. can be so good.
Look at that. Look at that. He broke in basketball terms. He broke his ankles.
He broke his ankles.
He's facing the other way.
I think
facing the other way.
I think Deron thought he was going to do a corner, and
I know that was Ellis Hobbs. That was Ellis Hobbs in Super Bowl 42.
All I know is that Marvin. This is the best Marvin's look, Papa and Coach.
Because they're throwing it to him, Chris.
Because
everybody wants to say, well, he's got to catch the ball. Throw the ball to him.
How about they have a guy playing quarterback now for $40 million a year less that knows how to play quarterback better?
That has a factor.
Understands.
that same Bob, you'll appreciate this story. I'm on a cruise when Jacoby Brissett was coming out, and the phone service is very unreliable. But I get a message pops up on my phone, and it's Bill Parcells. So we get to port, on one of the places we stopped, and I'm like, I got to call.
Did he call you Gilligan to start with? Since you're
I
on
wasn't
a cruise?
working. I wasn't working for him. He didn't know where I was, and I didn't tell him, Bob. But I call him. I get service. I call him, and who's he talking about? Jacoby Brissett. He's like, "There's this guy, Todd. You gotta take a look at him. Nobody really knows a lot about him, but you gotta take a look. I had him in Jupiter, Florida. He went to high school. He knew the kid, so it was Jacoby Brissett, ironically.
All right, so Todd, do you cook? You tell me that your girlfriend, she's a killer cook, right?
Killer Italian
cook. Biz doesn't.
Like you. Like
Biz
both
go.
of you, we just watched the Philly Mob, and she's like, I went to school with him. I went to school with her. She knew all the names.
I think my father watched that today. Were you watching this afternoon? Biz doesn't cook, but his wife is a great cook, and she loves recipes from. So, Biz, my mom, I had her.
Where's Mrs. Papa? Is she coming on? Where is she?
Dorothy. Look at sausage and peppers, but extra spicy. And then she makes this broccoli thing where she infuses the olive oil with garlic in a saute pan, and then sprinkles lemon on the broccoli.
Heather.
Then pours the garlic olive oil over the top of it with sun-dried tomatoes. And I took some fresh Reggiano.
Do your things again, Papa. Hit your thing. There you go. You're back. Now, hit up your thing again, Stunad. hey, Coach, is your girlfriend a Philly girl? She's from Philly?
Yeah, South Jersey, but lived in Philly. Her family went back and forth between South Philly and Jersey.
All right,
yeah,
so
Papa,
she's a Philly girl. All right, so my mom taught me a couple tricks about the sausage and peppers that I didn't know that she included in it. A couple of ingredients. So let's roll the tape, Lindsay.
All right, Mom. We got the sausage
Dorothy,
cooked
Papa.
off.
No.
We get the onions with a little salt. What's going in next?
Okay, we have a little red pepper that I added to the onions as they're sauteing.
Because Coach Haley likes it hot.
It's hot.
Yes.
Okay, and then we have two
Heather.
whole garlics that are chopped. I'm going to mix it in, blend it in with these
I was the sous
onions that are
chef.
almost cooked. And we don't want to burn the garlic, so we put that in last. And I like to just kind of turn it, keep turning it around. And then I'll let it sit so that the garlic could become a little bit brown.
All right.
And let that set for a little
Two big
bit.
onions.
I'd say about
Two
2
big
minutes,
yellow
2-3
sweet
minutes at the
onions.
most. Don't want to burn that garlic.
Gas stove, perfect.
That's
We have
easy,
all the
right?
onions sauteed, the garlic
Even I could do that.
cooking in there, and I'm going to add a little bit of my ingredient.
See, I didn't know this.
Tomato
Not when you're in
paste,
Mexico.
Not much, maybe a tablespoon.
Tomato
So
paste. I
I'll
never
generously
thought about that in sausage and
Whisk it
peppers.
around so that it kind of gets blended.
Gives
in
it a
with
nice
these onions
color.
and garlic.
Yeah,
And
make
we're
the
just
peppers
getting
red.
this ready to have the peppers added to
That's
it.
the onion, though. That's not even the
Just blend it
peppers.
a little bit. And it
I like
just
the
gives it
whole
a little
Nona
sweetness,
apron
a
she
little
went.
more
She went
sweetness.
full on Nona.
No,
She's looking for a TV
The
show.
onions. Although you'd like a little kick to it, we have a little red crushed pepper in there.
I like
It's
a
gonna
kick.
Kick it up a little bit more. Okay,
Yeah.
the onions and the garlic are simmered together nicely, and that little nice color of tomato paste kind of
at
blended
those-
in nicely.
look at those
and now I'm
peppers I
adding
sliced.
An orange pepper.
I don't
yellow
like the green
pepper,
I don't
and
like
a
the
red
green
pepper,
peppers.
more for
Sous
color.
chef. Get it.
I'm gonna just blend
can't
that in.
digest
Gotta have
the
a few
green one.
green peppers.
And here
Nah, I
I'd
can't
like
digest
to just
them.
get a little salt to put on top of these peppers. We
She's
know
like a
that
she's like a
sausage
natural
is
here, Papa, on the
salty
camera.
all the time, but we'll add a little bit of salt.
She's just doing the Italian
Wilts down the peppers
mom
a bit.
thing, just talking. They just talk.
Okay, Rob.
Yeah.
I added a cover to just wilt down these peppers a little bit, so
And wilt
Gets the
them down.
cooking done a little faster. She had beautiful colors. Got a little
Oh,
touch of
beautiful.
tomato paste to the onions, really blends in nicely all along. And now we're
Biz,
going to put
easy.
in the cooked sausage to finish up
easy.
the whole meal.
And she said cook them in the oven
I cut
because
them,
she didn't want too much grease from the sausage in the pan.
and then
Nice little
piece
trick.
of
Pro tip.
Sausage to have
That's
in
what I'm
sandwich
learning.
or in your plate.
Now, Todd, do you cook at all? When's that
I
parsley?
can do
Parsley's gonna go
scrambled
in
eggs,
like
some
that.
bacon,
That's
things
gonna
like
be
that.
Blended together. We'll top it off with some
I think you can do this.
parsley. Chopped parsley, fresh.
Listen, Heather's in there talking about recipes, and it's like Chinese to me. I just shake my head. I'm like,
I'm gonna
yep.
add a little bit of
Yep.
fresh grown parsley to this.
Yeah, now I
before
never knew about the parsley.
Oh, how about the parsley, Papa? I didn't know about the
Just a
I
parsley.
little
chopped it up
sprinkle,
nice, but
color,
I didn't know.
Look at
She's
it.
like, yeah,
flavor.
she's like, chop
Yeah,
up
you
some
look good.
parsley.
And Biz and Coach Haley, I know you love something picked up another
Yes.
level.
Yeah,
So
we like a little
Bob is
spicy,
going to take
Mrs.
over
Papa.
here.
Hey, Mom, just throw some in here. So, look, Biz, Coach
Yo.
Haley, I have some Calabrian chili in here,
Oh, I
and
like that.
we got that on the oil. We're heating it up. We've already used some crushed red pepper. We're going to put some sausage in here, and we got the traditional, and now we're going to get
The
something,
spicy.
the spicy. Mom, how do you like to end this thing?
How am I going to end it is enjoy, bon appetit,
Thank God, a real Italian in that family, finally.
and
Thank you.
mangia, tutti mangia.
Dude,
There you go.
very good,
Mangia
Mrs.
cast.
Papa. Tell her I said,
Her-
great job, Papa.
Her internet debut.
that is
A very
that is-
smooth one.
that was awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
felt like I felt like I was in the kitchen. I could smell it. I kind of
Yeah,
tried to get
there it
closer
is.
to the computer, thinking the smell would come through.
Yeah, like Emerald
Ooh,
Lagasse
how
used to
about
say.
that
Remember on
pass?
Emerald Live, he used to say, smell-o-vision. If they only had smell-o-vision. Bam, another notch.
She was awesome.
That was great. Great debut.
She's going to do an Iowa on the next show.
My mouth actually
the
started
Iowa. One of my
elevating.
wife's favorites, too.
I seriously, I started to get watery mouth, just like
Hey,
Well, you know what
the
the gift is for every guest on the show.
what?
We'll send you the recipe. And our regards.
I'm in good shape.
But she kicked it up with the spice. Ooh, boy.
Calabrian chili, it gets it done.
Ooh, that gets it done.
I think my girl's family is from Calabria.
That means they're
Calabrese.
thick-headed. Unless you got some, I bet you guys have some good arguments. They don't back down, the Calabrians.
Throw in menopause. You could have
Oh,
some.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
I hope she's not listening to this podcast.
Oh, my God.
Ooh, Todd Haley
Lindsay
with
just-
the bomb.
Lindsay just sent me a text and said, wrap. Time to wrap. Time to wrap.
Wrap it up.
Haley's going to parts we don't want to explore.
I'm
Wrap it
only joking.
Hey, let's look at 2nd and 7 there, Papa. Coach,
Second and 7. What you doing,
let's
Brian?
let Haley break it down a little bit here.
Yeah, Coach.
Stop
You
breaking
know the
it down there,
personnel.
Coach.
What are
for
we
the
doing
audience.
here, Coach?
We're in trips right. Zach faking the. This is sideways football. Nice. Got everybody running sideways. Easy pickings. Pickings. Get it?
No pun. No pun. Quick you are.
We got a flag. Do we get an illegal shift? We get the dreaded illegal shift.
It looked
I think a
illegal.
hold. I think Jake held somebody. Watch 87 on a hold right there. Grab
Jake
Mont-
Ferguson, huh?
He just grabbed Montez.
I like
Josh
Jake
Sweat.
Ferguson though.
He's having a big year.
Tell you what, Dallas is always good at finding tight ends, whether it feels like ever since Witten, they always come up with guys.
Players are so good at faking these days, though. Give Sweat credit. I mean, they feel any kind of resistance and feel like they're in a bad position. They fall down and draw a flag. It's
That's 2nd and 17. Me and Coach
Oh,
Haley are a little behind.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
We're watching on our Roku stick or whatever it is.
oh,
Oh,
Well, I got the same reaction.
Hey, I want to ask you this, Coach. I asked you about Parcells. You know, and you worked under another guy who's going to go in the Hall of Fame, in Mike Tomlin. What was it like working for him?
Sorry, I was taking a drink of my Don Julio.
Yeah, Tomlin. What was it? You know, you work for Parcells. He's a Hall of Famer. What about Tomlin?
I love Bill Parcells, and Hall of Famer for a reason. Mike Tomlin, I don't think I've ever had more enjoyment working for somebody for the right reasons. Like, I loved working for Dick Durant. Oh, is that a turnover?
Jake Ferguson coughed it up.
Oh,
And your Sirius XM guest, Buddha Baker with
Buddha
the recovery
Baker,
pop.
the Cobra.
The Cobra.
Patrick Peterson named him that.
Is that
There we go.
Stephen A.
Ahead with the
Smith?
Tomlin story.
Okay.
He just, you know, I from afar, before I got the opportunity to interview, I'll tell you the interview story. So it was kind of a favor through a couple people I knew. You know, I got fired at Kansas City as the head coach, and Bruce Arians had gotten fired. So, you know, I said, you know, can you at least let me meet up with Mike? And, you know, they hooked me up. I flew to Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. And, you know, I was doing a couple other interviews, but, you know, I talked to Mike, and he said, hey, I'm at the Hampton Inn, which is just right up his alley. You know, he's not going to be at some fancy place. He said, room, whatever, 302, you know, come on over. He's in sweats, tube socks. I mean, it's a Hampton Inn. He pulls up, you know, one of the cushy chairs. You got one chair, one bed, and we start talking. And now I had competed against him in the Super Bowl in Arizona, you know, or in Tampa when we played him. So he knew me, and what started as just kind of a perfunctory, you know, nice interview meeting, you know, we're sitting there for 5 hours, and you know, I had my own impressions of him from afar, you know, and I used to say, man, this guy can talk. It's unbelievable. And you know, but once I got to know him, and especially in that particular meeting, because he didn't hire me right there. He said, hey, you know, I feel totally different about you. Let's talk again. I'll have you up to Pittsburgh. And I'm like, there's no way he's calling me. And then he's, you know, he calls, and he said, he's just, sometimes it feels like he's just rambling, but this is one of the smartest guys I've ever been around. Smartest intellectually, smartest football. I mean, he's phenomenal. And in this day and age, man, if you have a coach like that can function amongst these kids that are dealing with social media and all the different things that are different than when we were growing up, and know football like he does inside and out. I mean, I loved every day. You know, there weren't always days with Bill Parcells that I loved the way the day went. You know, when you get beat down, but he's awesome. And you know, when all these Pittsburghers say we need a new coach, no, you know, just get a quarterback that can play. Continue to find good players. You're in good hands. He is really awesome. And anybody, I don't know. It's just I was amazed by him. I guess the best way to put it is I was amazed by him every day that we'd come in, and he might have taken all the coaches out on a Thursday night in season to have drinks and wings and whatever. And then the next morning we come to the team meeting, and he's got this like 40-minute tape put together. I'm like, when are you doing this, Mike? When is this happening? You just had us all sitting eating wings and having a beer, and you put this whole thing together. He's really, really good is the bottom line.
All right. My final question, and Biz, I know you have one, but I want to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Perception. You were a head coach in the league. You've worked for some great head coaches, but there's perceptions, right? We say that Mike Tomlin is a walk-in Hall of Famer, and I agree with that. we say Sean Payton is headed to the Hall of Fame. So they've been a head coach in the league for about the same amount of years, and they literally have the same winning percentage. They all have won between like 172 and 178 games. They're right around 500. Tomlin went to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. And then you get John Harbaugh, and people are calling for his head. Now, all these guys have also had elite quarterbacks at some point in this run, right? Roethlisberger with Pittsburgh. Sean Payton had Drew Brees. Now he's got Bo Nixon. We don't know what his arc is. Harbaugh had Flacco, who I think was very underrated. Now Lamar Jackson. And people in Baltimore are saying, all right, maybe the message has gotten old. Their numbers are almost exactly the same, between 61 and 64% win percentage over the same amount of years. And they're all around 500 in the postseason, but they've been to a shitload of postseason games. Then you have Mike McCarthy.
We're allowed to swear on here?
Well, yes, we can swear, especially when you were talking about menopause. So, so then you have Mike McCarthy, who over the same amount of years, basically.
Are you sorry.
Over the same amount of years, McCarthy, this 18 years, same winning percentage, about 174 wins, 1 Super Bowl win, like Harbaugh and like Peyton and like Tomlin. And the 1 Super Bowl he won was against Tomlin. Tomlin's the only one to get to 2. Why do people think that, like, McCarthy is such a bad head coach?
I think just what you said. It's perception.
Is it a weight issue? I mean, I'm not being funny. Like, do people look at him as like the heavy-set guy that doesn't have a
no?
Sean Payton has personality.
No.
Tomlin has personality.
Here's what I think is in today's society, everybody's looking for the flash, the
next McVay, the guys who wear joggers, hair looks
McVay
like a soccer player.
His hair looks like yours, perfectly coiffed. Both of you guys, by the way. You're making fun of my hair. Look at you two.
Deadliest Catch. That's your new nickname, Deadliest Catch. Wild Bill.
He looks
Wild
like hey, Papa.
Wild Bill's a Steeler fan, by the way. He used to come to our camp in Latrobe. I'm like, you're Wild Bill. He's got a terrible towel in his wheelhouse. He actually has a terrible towel hanging in there. So when he show up, let me be, Bob. It looks good when I hit the golf ball 320.
I love it.
Block
punt. Block punt touchdown. And this is why they lose games. Are you kidding me?
Look at this. That's Sam Williams.
Dominating this game.
Hit him right in the face. Right in the mask.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mean, you're in control.
Yep.
Offense, defense, special teams.
This is why Arizona's 2-5.
So anyway, I think it's everybody wants to see this Mike McDaniel, and I like Mike, and he's really smart, obviously, but they forget that football is football, and I don't think that aspect of it will ever change. They want to, and now maybe with flag football, Max, I mean, it's like he ran a jet sweep, and you're all excited. You're like, yeah, Max, we're killing him. But, flag football is different. You got to play football. And I think also have you noticed these guys? I love Sean McVay. I mean, and I think he's a really good coach. But he kind of started at storming up and down the sideline every time the camera. Now you're seeing everybody else doing it. Mike McCarthy being from Western PA, he's not going to stomp up and down the sideline and put on a show, but everybody's doing it. And I just think it's that trend. It's, you got to have the right look. You got to show up. I think a lot of these guys know they're on camera. I obviously, if you watch Hard Knocks, when I was in Cleveland, I forgot there were cameras there. I was just being me in a meeting. And then all of a sudden the perception is, oh, he's a bad dude. But, it's a showman's game, much more showman than it has been. And, that bothers me. I want to go back to Chuck Noll and Don Shula. And if Tom Landry wants to dress up and wear a hat, I mean, he wasn't doing it to get notoriety. It was just the way he believed he went about his business. So,
well, how about the guy that's been to the last 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them, lost the last one? No showman about Andy Reid.
Give me Andy Reid any day. And he'll have those hot dogs waiting for him in his coach's locker room when he gets off the field. I mean, he's the best. He does not care. And does it matter if just do your job better than everybody else and have your team prepared, and you probably got a chance to have some success. It's not about the next job. It's not about the likes, but what world are we in? It's like how many likes you have, how many follows, blah, blah, blah. Andy Reid doesn't care about that.
Yeah, I feel bad for the way McCarthy gets perceived and talked about in the media. Like he's going to take over the job. He's going to win 6-7 games his first, and then you got double digits for a whole bunch of years.
12-3, 12-3, 12-3.
Yeah. All right, Biz, you got a final one here for Coach?
Yeah, I got to ask you. I mean, tell
When's
us
my next haircut?
No, I actually like the hair.
Hey,
Coach, I like the hair, brother. I was just not used to seeing you like that. That's all. Tell us a great Ben Roethlisberger story, man. I mean, you two coaching him.
Tell us one you can tell on the air.
I'm sure it was quite an adventure coaching him. Tell us at least one classic Ben story.
Does it have to involve football?
No. Wherever you want to lead.
All right, if you're fine with anything, all right. So
wherever you want to lead, as long as it's somewhat,
We know he was a great player.
Oh, phenomenal player. When we're in this phenomenal place called Latrobe, Pennsylvania, St. Vincent's College. I mean, it is, Art Rooney III getting up saying, it's not the fanciest, but it's worked for 50 years. That's his first talk to the team. We're in dorm rooms. I mean, it's like we're in college, old school, and we would have as coaches a dart contest. So we had a little dart board, and we would it was generally just for coaches, but we let some, Marquise Pouncey, Kiesel, Ben, so we basically had an NCAA bracket, and one of the coaches would put the bracket up with everybody's name and who you played. So 2 years in a row, who's it come down to? And I'm a streaky dart player, much like pool. I mean, it depends if I'm in that sweet spot, with the
Don Julio. Yeah.
Don Julio. I love it.
Comes down to Ben and I. And I have Ben dead to rights. I'm like, I'm going to beat this guy. He thinks he's so good. I mean, last throw, he needs a triple 16, not a bullseye, but the green. He needs a 15. 2 years in a row, bang, 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 and beats me on the last throw. He's a phenomenal athlete. This guy, if he was playing the home run derby at St. Vincent, he won. They stopped letting him play. He wins everything he does. Golf, the same. I mean, he's a phenom. My football part of it is, so I come from Kansas City with Matt Castle. Love Matt. We won a division, won 10 games. I get to
Matt
Pittsburgh.
went to the Pro Bowl that year.
Went to the Pro Bowl. One of my first practices in Pittsburgh, call the play, and you kind of know as a coach how it's supposed to look, what breaks down immediately. I immediately go down to my script to look at the next play. I hear hooting and hollering, look up. Ben has now moved out of the pocket, thrown it 60 yards down the field for a touchdown. And I just wasn't used to that. Even with Kurt, as good as Kurt was in Arizona, that you didn't see those type of plays. And Matt, it was if it was all set up right, it was going to look good. If it wasn't, go on to the next play. But I very quickly, I'll never forget looking down at my script, which Bill Parcells would have killed me for because he didn't like guys looking at scripts. And all of a sudden, Ben's outside the pocket, heaving it down the field, making a perfect throw. He was phenomenal.
Did you have some classic arguments, you two? I mean, I remember back in the day, it was reported that you two used to go at it pretty good.
You guys just brought up perception. Perception is not reality. We played golf together. We played darts together, as I just referenced. I think coaching is how you coach somebody. So, with Ben, I went about it a little different way. His good friend was on our staff, our quarterback coach, and I figured out pretty quickly that if I talked to Randy Fiechner, who became the coordinator after I was there, that Ben would pay attention. So I didn't have to never yelled at Ben, never said a word to Ben. But if I called Randy over after a bad play and just said, blah, 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 Ben, he'd work his way around the practice field and I'd see him say, what'd he say? So I kind of coached through,
Right.
Conduit. Is that the word, conduit?
Yeah. Everybody's got a buffer. As you know,
Yeah.
everybody's got a buffer. You gotta
Everybody's
have
got a buffer. Hey, final question. Hey, Pop, we didn't ask Coach Haley this. You're in an Italian restaurant, Coach. What's your go-to meal? Man, I stumped you with this one.
Well, listen, I know you guys will laugh me out of the house if I say pizza. I could eat pizza. If I'm on death row, I'm eating pizza.
Next time you come on the show, I'm going to make you a pie.
Okay. I would eat pizza 5 days a week, 7 days. Every meal I would eat pizza. So
straight up, please don't say buffalo chicken.
Oh, God. It's an inside thing. It's an inside joke with this guy. Go ahead. Just disregard him. Go ahead.
My best friend, George Russo, Italian through and through, 100% from Pittsburgh. When we'd have our little fishing trip once a year, we've had for 28 years, 30 years. He buys the peppers, he cleans them out, he stuffs them with the Italian sausage, he puts them on the gravy and gets some nice rolls. That's why I said, when you asked me, that's kind of just put it on a sandwich and eat it up.
That's what it's me with the broccoli. My mom made broccoli ad last night. Everything goes with the adio bread. Broccoli ad, broccoli, spinach sauteed with sun-dried tomatoes. Everything goes on a sandwich.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
And then when you're done with all the good stuff, you sop it up with the bread.
Exactly.
Yep.
Dunkin'. Biz Dunkin'. Dunk everything.
We were just having this conversation yesterday. Dunk everything.
Bread and a coffee.
Dunk everything.
All right, Todd. Enjoy the rest of the game. This is the poor man's version of a Manning cast. It's the Italian version with food, wine, friends, fun, irreverence. But we got to have you back on the show for a Monday night like this, especially if my mom's cooking.
I appreciate you guys for having me. You're awesome. Your mom is give her a big smooch for me.
There you go.
She looks like a great person. So thank you for having me.
And before you go, what's your regular? I know you're on Sirius a lot of different times and days. What's your main spots so people can listen?
Well, Friday mornings, 7 to 10 with Solly Wilcox.
That's a prime spot, Friday mornings.
Yeah,
Thursday night
great
football,
one. After
the weekend
Thursday night
predictions.
football, love it. Saturdays, 5 to 8 with Zig Fracassi.
I do.
Who I made do the Merrill Reese impersonation yesterday or Saturday.
Does a good one, doesn't he?
Oh, and he went beyond. I mean, it was great.
Like Beyond Meat. And then, of course, Todd is first off the bench, pinch hitting on the other days of the week. I love when we get to do the shows together. Chin, my friend. Raise a glass.
Coach.
The great Todd Haley.
Coach, it was a pleasure, brother. It was a pleasure.
When I'm
Can't wait
making
to have you on
homemade
again.
pizza,
Bob.
when I'm making homemade pizza, you're coming on.
Okay. I'm in.
All right. Todd Haley joining us
Hey,
on the show. That was fun.
Some great stuff from Haley there. That was great.
Hey, this is a hell of a response by Arizona. That pass before the 2-minute warning to Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, they're just feeding him the rock psychologically.
Yeah.
Because remember, Zona's getting the ball. Zona's getting the ball to start the third quarter. Remember, Dallas got the ball first. They went for it on 4th down. Oh, no flag. 2nd and 10. Let's ride this out before we sign it off.
All right.
They're picking on Bland.
I'm a little ahead of you, so I'm not gonna sit until you do.
All right. Well, I see no flag and should be no flag
No.
on McBride there.
Yeah, no.
How
he
far are
tried
you
to
ahead
sell
of me?
it.
Are you on the next
Well,
play?
Yeah, well, I'm at 3rd and 1 and a 6.
I haven't gotten the 2nd down play.
You haven't even got the handoff yet.
So it's a handoff?
Yeah.
Just tell me. What was it? DeMarcado?
Yeah, it was a handoff. Yeah, third. No, it was to.
All right.
There you go. Now we got a handoff to the left.
Did we get the 1st down?
At
Come
the
on, tell
1.
me.
First, it'd be 1st and goal on the 2.
First. So
And
all right. So
Arizona's stopping the clock.
you're a play and a half ahead of me.
Yeah.
So-
Bam Knight just took it to the 2. It'll be 1st
So
and
let
goal
me-
on the 2. They just killed the clock. 52 seconds. Go ahead.
But think about this. Dallas takes the opening drive.
Mhm.
They get down inside the 5-yard line. They get bottled up by Arizona's defense, which we both agree we're big fans of Gannon.
Yes.
They get Dallas doesn't take the 3 points. They go for it on 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
They stop them. Arizona gets 3 the other way. Then Ferguson coughs it up. Arizona gets the touchdown. 10-0. The punter punts it in the face of Nealon. Like Nealon didn't even block it with his hand.
No,
They hit
right
him in the
mess.
face.
Yeah.
How big is this if they can score a touchdown here and to get the ball to start the third quarter against a very challenged Dallas defense? I mean, this is huge.
This is huge. Arizona has three timeouts. They're under 2. Clock not a factor.
This is the
All right,
difference
first.
between winning and losing.
1st and goal, and here's Bam Knight, and he's going to take it to the 1.
First and goal at the 1.
And Dallas is probably going to kill the clock again. Yeah, Dallas just called timeout again. So 2nd and goal on the 1. Dallas trying to get some ball back, but
I mean, I guess they did get the ball back and
they can
make
get the
them
ball
run
back
down the
and try to-
field.
Try to get a field goal or something.
Yeah.
before half. But hey, Pop, how about Arizona's defense against this high-powered Dallas offense tonight? Who's
Hey, listen.
I think they've scored.
listen,
I think they've scored 40 points twice at home this year. They did against the Giants.
No, they scored 40. I
They
think
scored
they scored
44
40
against
points at home.
Washington. They
in
scored
every
40
game
against
they
the
played.
Giants. Yeah, every game they've played. 3 games.
And they scored 40
plus.
against Green Bay.
Right. 3 games they've scored 40 plus, and they have 0 tonight in the first
Offensive
half.
points, correct.
Offensive
I
points.
do you like the jumbo package here?
Yeah, if you're
I
going
like
to throw
it.
it at Jacoby keeps it. He's a big boy. So Arizona goes up.
Yeah, on
Arizona
the
goes up.
previous play, I still like spreading them out a little bit.
That's my philosophy. Spread it out and run it. You're going to spread it out and run it.
How many times? Hey, how many 2-point conversions did the Giants convert in the Coughlin era? Spread them out and then draws to Bradshaw or Jacobs.
Yep. Spread it out. I hate the jumbo package. But as Jacoby, he's just following Evan Brown, who, by the way, is a former Giant.
He was a discard too.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a guy that got like a look. So they got Will Hernandez and Evan Brown, 2 former Giants on that offensive line for Arizona.
Yeah.
Evan Brown was a guy that they barely. He was
Acknowledged.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't.
And he's been playing for 2 years now here in Arizona, left guard.
Yeah, 2 years he's been a starter for Arizona.
Been a
Evan
starter
Brown.
for Arizona for 2 years, and we know Will Hernandez, who's back from injury this year. Nice drive by Arizona.
That's a huge drive by Arizona.
49 seconds left. Dallas to get the ball back. So
Okay, so Evan Brown, 2019, out of SMU, broke into the league. 2019, Giants, Miami. Yeah, he was. I think he played in one game for the Giants in 2019.
Well, he's found a home here. He's
Yeah, it's
playing
worked
pretty
out
good,
nicely for him.
playing pretty good football.
So,
here.
in his 2 years in Arizona, he started all 23 games. He kind of he established himself in Detroit.
Mhm.
He was in Detroit for 2.5 years. With the Lions, he started 24 of 32. All right, Biz. This was a lot of fun. Haley's a hoot. The fact that he brought up what he brought up about his girlfriend was hilarious.
That was great.
Maybe the Don Julio was kicking him, but really unbelievable stories he had for us.
Just great stuff. I can't, he'll be back on the margin in the future. And you could just tell he's a guy you could hang out with all night, Papa, and just listen to him tell stories and talk. And, he's got a great sense of humor, man. You could tell. Well, you know him, obviously. This is the first time I ever talked to him. You could tell he's just a funny dude, man. He's a good
dude. Yeah, he's a little irreverent. He's got the Wild Bill hair now from Deadliest Catch.
That's okay.
All right, Biz. I want to thank Lindsay for putting together that video. My mom had fun with it.
Hey.
My mom's she's going to do a little on Mondays. If we do the show on Mondays, and I'm here in Waretown, New Jersey, I'm putting Mom to work.
Well, she was a natural tonight. Tell her I said great job, and the food looked great. So we got to have her back.
Are you going to be at the Giants? You're going to be at the Giants on Wednesday?
I will be at the Giants on Wednesday.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat my sandwich, and I'm going to save some of the spicy sausage and peppers for Wednesday.
Could you do that for me?
Make a sandwich, wrap it in foil, heat it up in the morning, bring it to you. Boom, you get a taste.
Appreciate it, because needless to say that the lunches at the media room are not very tasty. And even though I've complained to Chef Ange about it, I thought maybe I have an inside hook, but no.
Dude, and I'm going to save you some of this broccoli, which, is sustainable for a couple of days, and put that in some bread. And boom.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, chin, my friend. Lindsay, you're amazing. Lindsay she never sleeps. She keeps it together. Hold that cup up. So people know, hold that glass up. Go to that Believe shop. You could buy a ManjaCast glass. Sal, go buy a glass. Jeff, go buy a glass.
Salute with us. Chin, my friend.
Thank you to our
Coach
friends
Haley.
at
Thank you,
FanDuel.
Lindsay.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of the ManjaCast.